Hello and welcome to ladies, gentlemen, and bees. Hello and welcome to the stream that answers the question why will you get arrested. How have you been doing? It's been a while. We are live after what, Thursday? A few things have happened since Saturday. I was in a competition. Hello, Pookie. Pookie, I seriously still think it's like you left a bit prematurely from the server. I know you're building something. You can build something while you are on the server. That was me. I wasn't saying like you have to leave the server, my friend. Hey, how you doing, New Moon? Did you know Pookie left the server? Like, I was just checking through the chat like yesterday and a bit today. Like, hey, where's Pookie? Pookie was not on the server. He was not. I was like, oh, is he a member? Fuck, he left. Like, what's going on with Pookie? Anyway, dude, it's fine. Yeah. Did you get like pissed at me or something for saying that come back to me when you build a solution? No. He left the server. He left the server. Hey, that's cool, Pookie. No, do become a lawyer. We need good lawyers. Numon, see, I think he got too angry at me because I was like, okay, about the AI thing and hallucinations. I mean, I'm never going to leave the stance of AI being bad because it is. But still, whatever. See, Pookie, it's okay to have disagreements. You do realize that. No, that is fine. I'm sorry for being mean. If you thought I was being mean, having disagreements is normal. You're no one is ever going to agree or disagree with me or anyone 24/7. Like after I think you left, me and Slayer had a fight for like 12 hours straight on chat. It's still there. And to the amount of times I actually fought with people on the server myself, I am very much guilty of that. Anyway, there's a few things actually we have to cover. And we are like diving a bit deeper into the. Yeah, just a debate. Like it's not even a. Whatever that chancellor. Oh, no, don't worry. Don't worry too much about it. These things happen. You still have time. You're like your future is not just decided because your father spoke to a god woman. You know how many times someone like that I know has spoken to a god person for me. It's just being part of India. No. Communist. It's not about confrontation. He took it like too personally. Like I told him, like, hey, if you are going to build a AI that is like good for everything, good for environment, doesn't hallucinate, come back when that thing is developed. And he thought I was asking him to leave. I was talking about the discussion. Thought she is the person behind Amrita. Oh, okay. No, dude, you'll be fine. Don't think too much about it. What are they making you do? Like join their like cult or something? Chancellor of Amrita Vishwa Vidyapitham. Whatever that is. For +1, +2. What is +1? Like 10th in junior college? Okay, it's a college. Okay. Fine. I mean, if it's a college, it's a college. Why are you worried about that? It's not like, okay, I'm going to be clear with you. As it is now with India, everyone needs to be at least an engineer before they do anything else. Yeah, sure, sure. Okay, you have to study. Like, that is not a choice. Even if you end up becoming a lawyer, yeah, see, whichever, even if you end up becoming a lawyer, even if you whatever, like career path is very different. Like, what do you want to do? Like, honest God question, what do you want to do? I seriously don't see the problem with being in Combator. Again, what do you want to do when you get to like uni and everything? Oh, okay. I'm just waiting at this point because I'm just waiting for his reply, but fine, whatever. I'm gonna move on. Anyway, so I saw something like really funny right now. What the fuck is this? He's now claiming like he also made a robot once in childhood. Yeah, Pookie, take your time. Uh, like he was also a chai wala. He also didn't complete his education. Then he says, "Oh, I didn't complete my education. I only did fourth standard. I failed fourth standard." Then he claims I made robot when I was in school. Then he claims, yeah, the CIA has made him a robot. Like this guy is just this at this point. Is it too much to say that he's lying 24/7? Like what the fuck? Who falls for this shit? Like who falls for this shit? I have to ask. Like, do people really look at this? Yeah, he has lied about everything. His face is a lie. Guys, he has so much work done, you wouldn't be able to compare old Modi to new Modi. Oh, yeah, his marriage is as well. Like, he left his wife and claims to be a single person. Then he was chasing no one other than WhatsApp uncles fall for it. Probably. Probably. Like, he's targeting WhatsApp uncles a lot. Anyway, so it's like, you know the story that he was like chasing a woman down in Gujarat as well, like a new IAS officer. I hope you know that story as well. Like Jesus, this guy lies out of every pore of his body. Like I don't understand this person. I really don't understand this person. Mansi Soni, exactly. Like seriously, who the fuck? Who the fuck believes this guy? What do we have for a prime minister, guys? What the fuck do we have for a prime minister? Yeah. Okay, yeah, he made this claim. He was selling chai on one hand, making robot with the other. He's also someone who really gives a shit about other people, apparently, but then again, chases down Mansi Soni and spies on her through Amit Shah. Now, Kerala, he has tried to rename Kerala as Keralam as a last ditch effort. Like look at this front page with Modi and Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan. Like he decided to rename Kerala. They're pushing it this way. Like, oh, we have decided to rename Kerala to Keralam right before the fucking elections. Man, Congress time was so cool that a tea seller could travel the world by selling tea lemo. Yes, oh my god. Jesus, like if anything good or bad, Congress made this guy possible. Like imagine you could have been a prime minister if you were selling tea during Congress time. Now you can't because it's BJP time. Now you can't be prime minister until you murder some people for being Muslims or Dalits. That's probably why the next person eyeing that position is like Yogi. With his with his multiple people coming in as part of the Hindutva brigade. That is like going to be our next prime minister, I guess, if nothing is done. Like, what the fuck is wrong with this? Like, okay, you are there is an assembly decision on June 24, 2024. Why is this in the news right now? Why is Modi's face here? Do people in Kerala really like feel that Modi made it happen? That's why you have to vote for Modi. Like, what the fuck? Jesus fucking Christ. After approval of Union Cabinet, President of India will refer to bill, namely the Kerala Alteration of Name Bill 2026, the state actually expressing its views under proviso to Article 3 of the Constitution of India. Like, did we really need a change of name, to be honest? On that note, if you're new here, please do like, share, and subscribe. And if you're old here, please do subscribe. Do like. It is extremely important. If you can, after the stream, leave a comment. But wait for the whole damn stream. Anyway, so the Kerala Assembly has passed a resolution for the second time because the Ministry of Home Affairs, which reviewed the first resolution, suggested some technical change. Kerala Chief Minister Vijayan, who had moved the resolution, wanted the Union government to change the southern state's name from Kerala to Keralam in all languages, including 8th schedule of the Constitution. Whatever. Why is this such a big fucking news? I don't understand. Someone, please help. Like, they do everything. Like, if there was no election, BJP would literally do nothing. Remember in Thrissur district of Kerala, BJP won a seat in 2024 Lok Sabha election? Yes. They are trying to make ground, which is what I keep telling people as well. People don't listen. I have some idiots on X who come up, used to say like, oh, BJP will never enter Kerala. Kerala is too smart. No, you guys don't understand what propaganda does to people. This is the constant propaganda. Like, look what we are doing. Like the first thing, like Kerala is by far the most socialist state in India. They are going to industrialize the fuck out of it. Like capitalist industrialism out of their fucking asses. Everything would be sold off immediately. Like we were just happy that Kerala got its first tram. I was like very happy. Like hold on, let me grab that news. Kochi said to become. Like I swear to you, this is going to go away the moment BJP wins. If the BJP wins, Kochi tram goes away in 5 days because it will be sold off to Adani. That is what it's going to happen. This is what keeps happening in any fucking state that makes Modi win. Like, not even joking. Like, Jesus. I said so. Anyway, so, like the UGC, I would argue, is still in line with this idea. See, I'm gonna be very clear about this. The UGC is not a tactic that the BJP is using to actually help people. I'm not joking. The tactic here is that they are going to show themselves as a minority party, try to capitalize on the minority vote in Kerala. But to do that, they needed something, and that something was the UGC. They are going to use it in elections from now because they know Sanghis are going to vote for them no matter what the fuck happens. They vote for the Modi name. They don't vote for like actual improvement in their material conditions. So they are going to vote anyway. So might as well do this. As far as I understand, the current political party in Kerala has the majority mandate. So BJP is going for the minority. And that is the game plan. That is what I personally think. If they cannot do shit like vote chori, they're going to do this. This is their backup. But that's just my prediction here. I mean, you can keep it like most of these. Sadly, most of these predictions never really go wrong, which is a very sad thing because I don't predict good shit. But we will have better predictions. Guys, if you're new here, please do share. Please do share the stream. Don't forget, share the damn stream. Anyway, the first things that we are getting into actually today is India and Israel. We have covered this multiple times before, and I'm gonna keep covering it until this is an issue. So one, India is kind of supporting Israel a lot, and this has started especially within the right-wing circle. Not joking. This is what has been going on in the right-wing circles for a very long time. India and Israel had a tie-up every time there was a right-wing political movement within India, and like a right-wing prime minister was there. India has supported Israel. When there was a left-wing, it has supported Palestine. Not many people talk about this, but we started associating with Israel back in like Morari Desai's time. We increased in Vajpayee. Then we went into Modi, and we are now just sucking their dick 5 seconds every day. Anyway, I actually forgot, hold on, to share that we are live on. Share this live. Guys, please share this stream. I am begging you, please to share this stream. You're part of this as much as I am. And we need the exposure. Guys, give me a second. Let's just blast off. Add the new. As the sorry, new. We have ties with Palestine, but we should know that Palestine Authority is pretty bad. It is, but we are like they're currently under occupation. It's very like, can we really say that they are wrong just because they are under occupation? Like they could be the worst people on the planet, but again, under occupation. No, the Palestine Authority collaborates with the IDF. Oh, that one. Okay. I just said Palestinian Authority. I'm like, oh, the government of Palestine? No. So, no, that's the other one. Yeah. Yes, they do. I was more talking about like a journal. Sorry, I was writing a tweet there. Anyway, please share. It would be nice. Anyway. Sorry, where were we? Yeah. The Palestine Authority is bad. It collaborates with the IDF. That is extremely true. What we are going to talk about how India is collaborating because of the similar ties between India and Israel at this moment of time, because India has been going way too much towards Israel. This has multiple reasons. One of the major reasons is like Adani Ambani get a lot of contracts within the Middle East. They get a lot of contracts from America because they're working with the Middle East. On top of which, I'm not even joking, the ideology between Zionism and Hindutva are the same, which ends up being that because they are the same, they help each other. While Zionism is the ideology that Zionists get to rule over the land that they have colonized. Hindutva ideology is that this land belongs, the land within the Indian subcontinent belongs to only Hindus and everyone else should get the fuck out or die. Those ideologies are exactly the same, which is because a lot of times the Indian support for Israel is so huge because Sanghis see themselves as Zionists, even though Zionists absolutely hate Sanghis. Like, the people have been beaten up in Israel for being Indian. Just saying. Anyway, so first things first, just first things. I say first things first, and like this is not even in. So again, I like Manishankar. I don't think he covered everything here, but we are still going to watch it. I'll add it. There's a lot of protesting going on as well on the back end of this. Does this zoom in? No, it doesn't. I wonder how to get this to zoom in like just here, but fine, whatever. So there's protesting going on against India's visit to Israel. This is going to end up possibly giving a lot more funding to the Zionist lobby and Adani and Ambani. I can tell you within the next few months, we are going to sign a deal. No, there's already a deal present, but we're going to sign another deal with Adani for military equipment. I can guarantee you as much. Can you hear this, by the way?
We are calling for this visit to be cancelled, and we're also demanding.
Again, it doesn't really matter. Like, the visit may be like significant, but the collaboration is huge. We have just found, Epstein file just relieved that our prime minister dances in front of Israelis for US. Now they are dancing in front of whatever.
Demanding that the Indian state should break all, even the existing economic, cultural, political, diplomatic ties with Israel, because it's pretty clear that Israel is a settler colonial occupationist genocidal force.
This is true, by the way. We should break off ties. They are not going to, because we have said this before. We're going to keep saying this. When you talk about like a settler colonial force, that's also Hindutva. That's also the Indian government for Kashmiris. Like, technically, it is their land. It is not owned by India. It was an autonomous zone.
We believe that the Indian state's position does not reflect the position that the Indian people are taking. And
so I sort of agree to this. Most of the people in India do not support Israel. Hindutvas do. even though they're hated by Israelis. Hindutwas do because they hate Muslims. The government does because it helps the god Adanis and Ambanis get deals. Unfortunately, it will lead to police showing up within 5 minutes unless you speak prior permission, especially for Palestine. Yes, that is true. But again, I've said this before. The protests are not for the police. It's not. It's for spreading the message. If you can spread the message, even if the police shows up within 5 seconds, it is still a good protest. You have to understand why you're protesting. You're protesting to create political pressure from on-ground movements. Modi is the only prime minister in the world who can also be seen as a mascot of his country. He is the official dancing boy of India. Yes, he's not a, again, okay. He's not the mascot of India. He's literally the mascot of Adani and Ambani. He's the mascot of them. He's not a mascot of India. Please don't tell me he's a mascot of India. That is just insulting. Also, yes, again, please understand why we are protesting, New Moon. We are not protesting to show that, look, we get to protest without the police. They're obviously going to do this. They do that every time. If they can't get police involved, they get ABVP involved. That is literally happened with the UGC protest. The protesting itself is to get mass appeal, get a movement going. If you protest without a movement going, the protest kinda is pointless. Like if I am protesting tomorrow in Timbuktu about Modi, and Timbuktu is an actual place, is that protest going to matter? No, it's not. It's going to be pointless. That's why, like, getting there, because this is on Al Jazeera. Because they are on Al Jazeera right now talking to people, this becomes especially important. Suspiciously, they're hesitant to do much against ABVP. Who? Who exactly? The police? I mean, yeah, I mean, they are in contractual agreements with them at this point. Like, ABVP is supported by the government. They are a BJP faction. They are a RSS faction. The police aren't going to do shit. It's like saying the police are not going to do anything against RSS when they are murdering Muslims. They watch while it happens. Literally, they watch while it happens. They don't give a shit. Police in India are Sangh affiliates. After they're marching in the police cadre, they go to march in RSS. Why are we saying the police are like neutral in this situation? Not, I beg you to find a police officer that is neutral and still has his job. Police who are neutral, I'm not even saying that they have to be leftist or whatever. Police that are neutral, truly neutral, are transferred immediately. They are not given the job because police structure in India is meant to occupy, is meant to suppress protests, it's meant to oppress the public opinion. Our police structure itself entirely has been taken from what the British used to have for us to push down in protesting. The British do not have this structure. The British do not have this structure. Americans do not have this structure. We have this structure because it was carried forward from them. Obviously, the police are hesitant to do much against ABVP because they are told not to. We have seen this multiple times. JNU protests back in what, 20, like JNU had a protest like every fucking. But like, remember when the JNU protest was happening with, hold on, JNU protest. When the ABVP attacked, when was it? Sorry, I forgot the name of the, I forgot which year was this, when the lights were shut off by the police. What is this? Sorry, I'm just getting sidetracked a little bit. Yeah, this is from 2020. The JNU protest happened. The protesters were attacked by ABVP. In what was this? JNU protest attacked in. I'm looking for this. Hold on. Like this, for example. They were attacked in 2020. 40 students and like admitted ABVP attacked them. They got in. They brutalized people. The police, instead of helping, shut off electricity, helping ABVP people. They threw tear gases at like actual protesters. Like police are not neutral. Like the worst thing you can think right now is like police are completely neutral in anything. You're not fighting people, like you're not protesting against the government because the government is going to let you protest.
And must take, because we are citizens of a country that has faced colonial exploitation, 200 years to be precise, and we have faced the systematic exploitation.
That's what Gandhi also said. Like a country that has faced colonial exploitation for 200 or and more years, honestly. And sometimes we still do in certain pockets of India. Like it's supporting Israel in a colonial endeavor is just beyond me sometimes.
And oppression, we've faced famine conditions, we've faced mass killings.
Also, the famines have gotten so bad. The famines have gotten so bad in India that our genetic structure has changed because of them. I'm not joking. That is how badly the famines have affected India.
There's not a lot of information in India about what's happening in Palestine. Whatever is available to the common public is also heavily sort of, filtered and tailored according to the Zionist narrative that, the fascists here promote. Particularly in the recent years, especially since the fascist BJP has come to power, that the Indian state has become more and more brazenly close to Israel. And even though it recognizes in words and on paper Palestinian statehood, I think definitively we can now say that when it comes to actions, it sides with Israel.
You're smart.
The reason why it sides with Israel is because of the plan of Kashmir that we have been orchestrating is based around, again, it's based around what Israel is doing with Gaza. It's been happening for years. Like this is not a new problem for like from BJP. This is a problem for the entirety of the RSS cadre. Like how RSS was built, it was built on Nazism. It was built on fascism. It was built on looking at Italians. It was built on what Mussolini did. The reason why they are in so much of a support of Zionism is because it is similar. It is same. They are brothers in a genocidal ideology. Not to mention that the whole entire thing of Zionism was also based around American Confederism. So, I mean, America is kind of always at fault.
Congratulations on having done a great job.
The fact that the Indian state is still even considering it, and it even attended the recent meeting as an observer, shows us a lot about what its position is on the question of Palestine, because that entire peace plan is a complete sham. It's nothing but, another colonial blueprint on how to make profits over the death and destruction of thousands and thousands of Palestinians, and by condemning them to their land.
This is bad Obviously, this is bad. This is terrible. This is horrible that India is supporting Israel. But this is a marketed policy of the BJP and the RSS. The right wing movement is in great support, not because of any profiteering for the party itself or even India for that matter, profiteering for Adani and Ambani. So they get deals in the Middle East. So they don't get harassed in the US. Because this is what ends up happening. We showed this before multiple times on how the deals were made by Adani and Ambani before, by Modi sucking up to Israel. They got deals in goddamn America. Like Hindenburg got dropped out because of deals like this. That's why the support. They took what, like $12 billion deal. Most recent deal is what? Shit, what was the most recent fucking deal that they had? Like $20 billion or so? Fucking horrible. This is what we need more. This is why we are talking about this. Is because this kind of thing needs to happen a lot more, guys. We need to be talking about Israel Palestine. We need to be talking about all of this because it's fucking important.
Complete departure from the position that the Indian people have historically taken on the question of Palestine, on the question of supporting the Palestinian liberation struggle. And Modi's visit makes it clear that he is representing the interest of a very particular section of, the big capitalists of India who seek easier ways to conduct trade with Israel, and not at all the position that the common justice-loving democratic citizens of this country take when it comes to the question of, the colonization and occupation of Palestine, the genocide in Palestine.
It's okay. It needs to be mentioned here that Modi has visited Israel nearly every single year since. That is a problem, or at least send someone to visit Israel. It's not a new thing. Why is Modi visiting? Okay, we are going to talk about, look at what Manishankar is saying over here.
When Mahatma Gandhi was still very much the leader of the freedom movement, the Zionists sent even Martin Buber, their most famous philosopher, to meet Mahatma Gandhi and to plead for India to recognize the right of the Israelis, of the Jews, to settle in a new country in Palestine where there were already Palestinian people. And Mahatma Gandhi replied that Palestine belongs to the Arabs for the same reason that England belongs to the English and France to the French. He said that any arrangement...
The thing here is that Israel was created by selling the land of Palestine to the Rothschilds for £1. This is the reason why Israel was created in the first place. Mani Shankar here talks a lot about Jews, quote and quote, but Jews were not the ones that were targeted in transport from Central Europe to Eastern Europe to Israel. Zionists were. There's a very much of a difference between those two, and we have to understand. Even if we are if we want to talk about this issue, we can't just blatantly say Jews. We have to say Zionists, because those are very different things.
Which is done in agreement with the Palestinians will be acceptable to the Indian freedom movement. But anything imposed upon the Palestinians will not be acceptable. And because the Israelis felt, that is the Zionists felt, that they must get Mahatma Gandhi's support, they did not accept this as his final answer and attempted over time to send several emissaries, including a very close Jewish friend of his, Herman Kalbach from South Africa, to try and persuade him. But Gandhiji was absolutely adamant that you cannot settle a foreign people in Palestine without the agreement of the Palestinians. that if the Palestinians and the Zionists agree on the conditions on which the settlement will take place, then he has no objection. But if it is imposed upon them, then of course he would strongly object. And this stand of principle was taken forward when Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru became the vice president of the interim government set up in September 1946. And it was his own sister who went twice over to the United Nations Committee on Palestine, which had two different avatars. And on both occasions, India was very firmly against the partition of Palestine to enable the Zionists to settle there. And it was a matter of principle, because after all, it was at exactly the same time in 1947 that we were being partitioned here in India. And we saw with our own eyes the horrendous consequences of the partition of British India into India and Pakistan. There were at least 200,000 people, innocent people, who were killed. There were 1 million people displaced. There were countless women and girls, even children, who were raped. And it was a horrific experience. So having gone through that in August and September of 1947, starting in March 1947, naturally in November, when the matters came to a vote in the United Nations, India was the only non-Muslim, non-Asian country, the only non-Muslim Asian country to vote against the partition of Palestine. And it was done in the face of both the United States and the Soviet Union together voting for the partition and Britain presiding over this exercise. So we
Remember, at least in India, both parties, the Hindus and the Muslims, were native to the land. With respect to Israel Palestine, Israelis were not native, they were transported.
were a country with courage then. But now what have we become? These BJP people, the saffron lot, have been saying for years that this is an example of Congress Tushtikaran. Now, what does Tushtikaran mean? According to the dictionary, Tushtikaran is the Hindi translation of appeasement. You appease an enemy. You don't appease a fellow citizen. The Muslims of India are fellow citizens of ours. So it is impossible to appease them unless they were to rise in revolt. And they haven't risen in revolt. So we are in a situation, and we have been in a situation since 1947 and up to 2014, when we have rejected the charge that Palestine is a Muslim cause. We've pointed out that not only were Palestine and Iraq the main centers of Arab Jewish population, but also till today there are Arab Jews in Palestine, there are Arab Christians in Palestine. In fact, the most famous of them is Hannan Ashrawi, who wrote a book called This Side of Peace, and several of their spokespersons have been Christians or of non-Muslim designations. So number one, it is wrong.
Okay, I'm just going to increase the goddamn speed here. I'm sorry, guys. People in India talk very slowly.
To describe Arab Palestinians as a Muslim community. They are a composite community. It is true the Muslims are in a
See, the thing is, in Israel, every single person who's not Jewish is called an Arab, by the way. The differences start there.
majority, but that doesn't mean that the Christians or the others are in any sense inferior to or regarded as not acceptable to the Palestinian people. The racism is entirely on the Israeli side. And because Israel is nothing except with the backing of the United States of America, they have succeeded in
That is true. Like, Israel gets everything from US. Like, their socialism works on US tax dollars. Every single thing that Israel has right now, free education, the socialism that they are extremely proud of, free healthcare that they get, even protection for PDFs in Israel, whoever, like, if you are a PDF, you can just go to Israel, by the way. You just have to accept Judaism. Like, all of that is done on the backs of US tax dollars.
defeating several attempts by the Arabs to reclaim land that was taken from the Arabs only as recently as 1948. The Jews say, or rather the Zionists say, that Palestine was their home 2,000 years ago, and so they have a right of return.
The 3,000 years ago.
But Palestine was a Palestinian land till only 75 years ago. So why don't they have a right to return? Now what have we seen? We have seen that Israel supported Hamas in the elections of 2007.
Not just Hamas, by the way. Israel has supported Hamas, ISIS, Taliban at different points of time. They have paid for ISIS. They have paid for Taliban to destabilize Afghanistan, to destabilize Iran, Iraq. Like, you have to wonder, why does ISIS has attacked nearly every country except for Israel? Okay, there's a message which I have not. It's strategic outposts of US to interfere in exactly. Like, at this point, I genuinely wonder if it's like a strategic outpost of the US, or Israel is like the US is the strategic outpost of Israel in like the West. This shit is getting way too complicated.
To defeat the PLO of Yasser Arafat. It is they who are behind the creation of Hamas as a political entity. It is quite a different matter that thereafter, after using Hamas to win their cause of dividing the Palestinians.
So back in 2005, the thing is, there was a extremely peaceful Palestinian coalition that was meant to promote equality and equity and all of that shit that people talk about, like how oppressed people should act. Like, that was the coalition. That was like the extremely peaceful, non-religious, open to LGBTQ ideas coalition within Palestine. That was defeated and the leaders were killed by Israel because they thought, if we are paying for Hamas, we can control Hamas. That was their first mistake, because they did not think that Hamas is going to sell off its people for money. I mean, Hamas itself is a highly religious, conservative organization, but at least it has the backbone to stand up for the people of Palestine. So they took the money from Israel, defeated their opponent, and took majority, and have stopped elections since then. You see the issue here?
In order to rule over them, the Israelis have turned against Hamas, and Hamas has therefore turned against Israel. And it is equally true that Hamas has agreed, despite its principled stand, to the continuation of Jews in the common homeland of the Jews and the Palestinians in Palestine. That is the correct official position. But if you go on hammering at innocent people, if you go on provoking...
Also, just to be clear, according to the international laws, Hamas is not a terrorist organization. They are freedom fighters. That's a very big difference here. Because the terrorist state is not Hamas. It is the Israelis. It's the IDF. According to international laws, I am not saying this out of my ass.
Terrorism, then terrorism will come. And then you suddenly make an issue of terrorism that blossomed in October 2023 because the Israeli Defense Forces and security forces were unable to foresee the methods by which Hamas would be able to capture people in Israel. And they themselves were surprised, I think, that it was so easy to pick up over 200 hostages and take them to Gaza. Now, in consequence of that, there are 70,000, please note it.
There is one more thing here that Israel was warned that the October 23rd attacks are going to happen. They let the attacks happen. Like, you can't attack the most militarily protected region on earth without the government knowing that something is going to happen. You really think people who do not have the money to feed themselves, no international trade whatsoever, barely any weapons, recycled everything, are able to go into the center of like Israel and attack a base. Get real.
There are 70,000 Palestinians who have lost their lives. The overwhelming majority of these 70,000 are non-combatants. Many of them, indeed most of them, are either women or children. Now, how can you take revenge?
So if you hear what Basin, I want to say Yusuf. What was his surname? Basin Yusufa? Basem, yeah. Basem Youssef. So if you are to listen to Basem Youssef, yes, no, Yousefa, not Yusuf, Yousefa. There's a difference. Whatever. So what he does believe is that Israel may have attacked their own because, again, Hamas does not have bombing capacity to kill as many people as they kill as died on the on October in 2023. 7th
Against
October 2023.
innocent women and children in the name of fighting terrorism. How many terrorists have they got? Hamas is still in existence. Their representatives are conducting.
Hamas has grown in popularity, which is fucking obvious that was going to happen because you can't like obliterate like multiple children, shoot them with drones. I'm not even joking. They sniped shot at children in the head. Again, war crime. Do you really think people are not going to pick up arms against the oppressing government that is shooting children in the head?
Negotiations. With whom? With the Israelis. So it's an illusion to imagine that you can bomb injustice out of the hearts and homes of people who are being treated unjustly. And now there is some kind of a peace plan that is unfolding in Gaza. It is not run by the
It's not unfolding, by the way. It is not unfolding. The peace plan in Gaza is false. The genocide is still going on.
Palestinians. It is not controlled by the Palestinians. Indeed, even the Israelis are not in charge. It is some American imperialist from the...
No. The Israelis are directly in charge. I don't think Manishankar Iyer actually knows American politics enough. If you think the Israelis are not in charge. The Israelis are in charge of fucking Trump.
The other side of the Atlantic Ocean, who is decreeing, ignoring the United Nations, that you will do this, you will do that, you will do the other. And we are left watching all this silently, because where the Indian voice was always a very strong voice in the Palestinian cause, from the time of Jawaharlal Nehru, or rather from the time of Mahatma Gandhi in 1938, and through the period of 1947, 64, when Panditji was the Prime Minister and External Affairs Minister of India, into Indira Gandhi's time, and later into the time of Rajiv Gandhi. We were consistent, we were principled, we were saying oppression is not acceptable, and we cannot have the thin edge of colonialism and imperialism reimposed on Asia. And that is exactly what Israel is. It is a colonial settlement. It's a colonial settlement of blue-eyed and sometimes blonde Poles. It is not the Jews who left Palestine 2,000 or more years ago. These are people who were persecuted in Poland, and that is where the word ghetto comes from. In Poland,
that may be the place where ghetto comes from. It's not just Poland, by the way. It's multiple different regions. There's also the project Alibaba that Israel ran. There's also Project Flying Carpet. I fucking know. We have spoken about this before. I'm not going to go into too much detail about this right this instant.
Poland, there was vicious oppression of the Jews, and it became especially acute after Hitler occupied Poland. But for that reason, the Arabs were not responsible. Why should they have to pay the price of European barbarity, of white people's barbarity, of blonde people's barbarity, of blue-eyed Europeans' barbarity? Why should the Arabs pay the price? The Arabs have done nothing except look after the Jews. The only time in the history of Europe after the Abbasid Caliphs fell, when the Arabs, or rather the Berbers, moved into what is today Spain and Portugal and was then called Andalusia, the Jews were safe only in Andalusia through the whole of the time that they lived in Europe. The only time they were safe was from 711 AD till 1492 AD, when eventually even Granada crumbled against the Christians who were returning. So, in the light of this, for the Arabs of all people to pay a heavy price to get the Jews from Europe and particularly from East Europe and most particularly from Russia and Poland resettled in West Asia at their expense is an insult, it's an injury, it is a humiliation, and the people of Palestine will never accept this. Now, Mr. Modi wants to be received with great fanfare by a convicted criminal. Mr. Netanyahu is a convicted criminal in the eyes of the International Criminal Court, whose jurisdiction has never been accepted by India, but it has been accepted by Israel. They've issued a warrant of arrest for him. You want to get yourself welcomed by a war criminal? He is under investigation in the International Court of Justice for committing genocide. Now, genocide is defined in the 1948 Convention
Is he just
of
going
the
around and
United
around?
Nations. And what the court is examining is whether the actions of Israel amount to genocide in terms of the provisions of the Convention Against Genocide adopted in 1948 in the wake of the genocide that Adolf Hitler committed against the Jews. 6 million of them were killed. Now, while this examination is going on, why does Mr. Modi want to be received in Tel Aviv?
Again, it's the similar shit. Like, come on, guys, come on. Like, why are we still questioning this? I don't understand. I really do not understand this. There are recent protests going on in India as well. Like, let me just pull this up quickly. Congress is protesting the AI summit. And people are crying over it. That is true. And like, there's a whole damn shit that is going on over this. Let me just pull it up quickly. Maybe India Today debate or no? Maybe, yeah. Wait, hold on, guys, hold on. See, I'm still not clear on why the protests were happening in the first place. I'm not going to mince words here. I'm still not clear why the protests were happening in the first place.
Protest by youth Congress workers while entering the Bharat Mandapam during the AI summit was in poor form, inappropriate in my view, and wholly unnecessary. Healthy democracy demands restraint at times more than theatrics to grab attention. But BUT, and this is an important BUT, but what the IYC workers did may have been inappropriate, but it is not a criminal act. The right to protest is an inalienable right in a democracy.
Let's go on and hear that again, guys. We are just talking about, oh, this is actually good leeway. Where is this? Can I ask you to send me the Sham Sharma show clip from this? Because fine, might as well talk about the fucking ass. No, I found it. Okay, I found it. Might as well make a clip out of the goddamn thing. It's like, I honestly, I don't really want to talk too much about this Baldi. He thinks he's going to become the next Joe Rogan of India, I guess. But fine, whatever. Let's just watch this and we can continue. I'm gonna start recording this. Anyway, so we are talking about like the INC protest that is happening. We're gonna react to fucking Sham Sharma. I don't want to. It's very annoying. I don't really think whenever he does any commentary, he actually learns anything about the topic he's talking about. He just cries. But fair, whatever.
May not like the form of protest, but that doesn't mean you criminalize.
So there was like protesting going on from Youth Congress, and like good, they have the right to dissent. They are doing this. That is fine. We all need to protest a lot more than we do. We also need to direct the protest a lot. Be completely honest.
Peaceful protest only because you are discomforted by it. If you do that, you're heading towards a police state. Imposing non-bailable provisions in a case like this is clearly a disproportionate response.
Yeah, this is what they were doing. Like, NSA laga diya, UAP laga diya, whatever the thing is, they're putting in non-bailable people up, like just people removing their t-shirts. At max, this is public nuisance.
The act itself. A country, my friends, must be driven by the rule of law and not by the rule of arbitrary power or, dare I say, hyper partisan public outrage. If you do that, and I repeat it, you could be heading towards a police state.
We are already kind of a police state for anyone who's not a UC Brahmin. Let's just be clear. If you're not a UC Brahmin, if you're one of the minorities, if you're one of Muslims or Dalits or whatever, the police are not going to support you or your voice. We saw this during the UGC protests as well. Right now, who were the police supporting within the UGC protests? It was not the protesters. It was the ABVP. Like even right now, like when JNU protests are going on, who is the police supporting? Is it the people of India who are protesting as a right, as their right? No, it is not. It is the goddamn ABVP members. It is people like the Vice Chancellor who talks about permanent victimhood of people while having permanent victimhood. And then you have people like
आपको तो पता है कि farm laws protest के
okay, even this time, again, protesting is a right of the people. He's showing morphed images, to be completely fair. There was human right violations during the farm protests. It is not wrong. Also, this is, I think this is an actual.
समय पर हमारे किसानों की मदद मियां खलीफा जी कर रही थी और फार्म लॉस के
That is a good thing. Mia Khalifa has such of a backbone than most of these RSS goon people. I can't even.
के बाद अब लगता है कांग्रेस पार्टी एआई समिट के खिलाफ प्रोटेस्ट करने के लिए देसी मियां खलीफाओं को ऑन बोर्ड कर रहे हैं. लगता है वो भूल
They remove their goddamn shirts. Like, okay, look at this sentence here. He is saying that because they remove their shirts, it is something shameful. By insinuating that it is shameful to be a sex worker. It is next level stupid comparison. It is kind of sexist. Like, I can't even begin to imagine how sexist this ends up being at the end of the day. This just comparison like this. Like, just because someone is doing sex work doesn't mean they are inherently like should be shamed or anything. Sex work is just sex work. It's like everyone likes to have sex. All of these people, all of these Sangis watch porn like nearly every day. And then cry about sex work. Jesus fucking. And like, it's not even that they are saying like, oh, sex work is bad. We need to abolish sex work. We need to give healthcare, we need to give more acceptance to sex workers so they can live a normal life. We need to give them proper, we need to give them other jobs if we want to get them off sex work. We need to talk about revolutionizing their lives so they don't have to do sex work. Yeah, exactly. Sex work is extremely honest work compared to the rich and powerful, obviously. That is very fucking true. Like, this guy is doing so much more bullshit and so much more shameful stuff than any sex work would because he's sucking up to the rich and powerful. Thank you very much for that sentence. Like, this is why I don't like talking about like Sham Sharma as a rule. Like, again, like one of our members was saying like, oh, you need to react to Sham Sharma. Like, fine, we will do it. It is entertaining to talk about him because he's so fucking wrong. Like, he doesn't do shit. Like, all he does is write like one line clips every 5 seconds. Like, he just writes one liners and calls it a fucking video. He doesn't do the basic research that is required or even talk about. But fine, whatever. I don't care. The point here is that the reason why I don't like talking about it is I get pissed off. And when I get pissed off, I'm trying to be very neutral here. I'm trying to not just blast into calling him fucking names right now. Indian conservatives don't hate women, don't hate that women have sex, they hate that it wasn't done with them. Yes, that is true. Also, they do hate women having sex. They hate women enjoying sex. That is the difference. They think sex is something that they do to others and it's for their enjoyment, not the woman's. That is one of the major reason, like, problems with conservatives talking about sex. Not just Indian, like whatever. Doesn't matter if it's Indian or not Indian. It's just conservatives issue. MRAs fall in the same line.
का समेट है, only fans का नहीं.
He keeps comparing it to OnlyFans. Again, does this guy realize how much of a market that is? If India had half the creative capacity of an normal OnlyFans creator, India wouldn't be buying shit from China to push forward in an AI summit.
There you see youth Congress workers who had entered at the AI summit.
The Congress workers barged inside the venue and took off their shirts, protested, called the Prime Minister compromised.
Go there and take off your shirts. And I have been told that this was all masterminded by Rahul.
Listen, the Prime Minister is compromised. That is not up for debate. We have the Epstein files. We have proof with a rubber stamp from the goddamn US government of what is true and what is not.
Rahul Gandhi himself, this shirtless protest at the AI summit is perhaps, in my view, without doubt, the lowest point of Rahul Gandhi's political non-career so far.
No, it's not. Protesting is good. See, the reason why they are so fucking pissed off against protesting like this, like, oh, maybe this is OnlyFans, but like because this worked. This is getting the name out. That's why this is important.
ये लोग नंगे होके खुद कॉम्प्रोमाइजिंग पोजीशन में पहुंच गए हैं और बोल रहे हैं कि प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी कॉम्प्रोमाइज.
Prime Minister is compromised because of the Epstein file. Just to be clear, he's not never going to talk about it.
ऐसे मौके पर जब गलगोटिया वाले बेचारे सोच रहे थे कि हमारी बुरी पीआर को कौन रोक सकता है, कांग्रेस ने आके उनकी मदद कर दी. तो आइए, जो पिछले 5 दिनों में दिल्ली में एआई समिट हुई है, वो फ्रैंकली काफी वाइल्ड समिट रही है. तो इस समिट में जो
he's going to talk for 22 minutes.
गुड है, जो बैड है, जो इनसेन है, इन सब चीजों को हम कवर करेंगे और देखने की कोशिश करेंगे कि क्या इस एआई समिट से भारत को एक्चुअली कुछ फायदा हो रहा है या नहीं.
The answer is no. I'm going to push forward.
फोकस समिट माना जा रहा है.
Listen, is he going to talk about like the hand thing? I don't know.
एशिया का सबसे बड़ा एआई गवर्नेंस इंपैक्ट समिट इस साल भारत मंडपम न्यू दिल्ली में चल रहा था, जो एशिया का सबसे बड़ा एआई गवर्नेंस और पॉलिसी.
You see this? See this here? This was forced upon them, by the way. Even Sam Altman was like, "नहीं मेरे से तो कुछ हो." Like I was like, so pushy. He's so pushy. Why is he pushing us like to do this bullshit? No one likes this here.
फोकस समिट माना जा रहा है.
Why am I reacting?
राजधानी दिल्ली में एआई इंपैक्ट समिट शुरू हो चुका है.
ये 5 दिनों का हाई लेवल समिट ग्लोबल इवेंट है जिसमें पॉलिसी मेकर्स, टेक्नोलॉजी लीडर्स, रिसर्चर्स, स्टार्टअप्स और मल्टीलैटरल इंस्टीट्यूशंस एक.
And they allowed someone with a fake Chinese rover to enter. That is the level. We covered this when it happened. There was a guy who got his shit stolen on the first day. A guy's shit was stolen on the first day. Make it make sense. If this is such an important summit for people, why was his shit stolen?
एक ही प्लेटफॉर्म पर एआई के फ्यूचर डायरेक्शन पर बात करने वाले हैं. ये इस ग्लोबल एआई समिट सीरीज का चौथा एडिशन है. इस सीरीज की शुरुआत 2023 में यूके के ब्लेचली पार्क से हुई थी. उसके बाद 2024 में सोल, कोरिया और 2025 में पेरिस में ये एडिशन हुआ था. दिल्ली का एडिशन पहली बार ग्लोबल साउथ में हो रहा है, जो जियोपॉलिटिकली भी काफी सिग्निफिकेंट है और इंडिया के लिए पोजीशनिंग भी अच्छी है.
Just saying, global south categorization is bullshit.
As a leader of the global south, इस समिट में 30 से ज्यादा.
India is not a leader of the global south, even by a mile, by the way, just to be clear. India is not the leader of the global south. That itself is false. India has fallen behind on every single parameter that even might contest itself as the leader of the global south. Does the leader of the global south need to have this bad employment crisis? No, you don't become the leader of the global south by having an employment crisis. You are not anywhere in manufacturing. You're not anywhere in production. You made a deal to sell off farmers to the goddamn US government right before the US was like, we are increasing tariffs again. 10-15% tariff. Yeah, it can't even lead SARC, let alone Global South. Global South is huge. India, like, is literally nowhere, especially when it comes to even having a heart. Hey man, what's up? Like, India is literally at this point doesn't even have a heart. We are cozying up to fucking Israel. We just saw that. We are not even like decent judicially. We are supporting someone who has been called international terrorist by the United Nations, and the guy's like, oh, India is a leader of the global fucking south. Come on.
देशों के डेलीगेट्स ऑफिशियली पार्टिसिपेट कर रहे थे। 40 से ज्यादा ग्लोबल सीईओ जैसे सुंदर पिचाई, सैम ऑल्टमैन, 20 हेड्स ऑफ स्टेट और $100 बिलियन के इन्वेस्टमेंट कमिटमेंट्स टेबल पर आए हैं। इमैनुअल मैक्रोन एड शीरन की तरह मीम्स बना रहा है। और देखिए, ये समिट भारत जैसे देशों में इसलिए भी इंपॉर्टेंट।
In revolution, are principles or outcomes more important? In a revolution, both are important. You can't have a revolution without principles. You can't have a revolution, and the revolution fails without its outcomes. You need both of them together.
क्योंकि डिजिटल इलिटरेसी एक बड़ी प्रॉब्लम बन चुकी है और इंडियन गवर्नमेंट इन समिट्स के थ्रू उसको फिक्स करने की कोशिश कर रही है।
Digital literacy is not a problem in India. Normal literacy is a problem in India.
भारत बहुत तेजी से डिजिटल हो रहा है, लेकिन डिजिटल सेफ्टी और साइबर सिक्योरिटी की अवेयरनेस
No, they are pushing India to be digitally forward. It does not require to be. They are pushing forward to collate all of the people to get their IDs out again and track the shit out of them. We have seen this multiple times throughout the past few months. Every time this shit happens, we have done a live. You can go back and check. Every time this shit happens, we have talked about this. Also, one of the major things, they have been trying to track you every 5 seconds at this point. Like, they are literally coming out with another thing to track your GPS. Like, so GPS needs to be completely on. Sanchar Sathi has access to your files for some reason. They're tracking, like, at this point, the only thing remaining is like they're tracking the messages you send on WhatsApp. But even that they're trying to do. You should be reading the newest anti-terrorism shit that is going on.
तेजी से अभी नहीं बढ़ रही है और इसी गैप का फायदा स्कैमर्स उठाते हैं। इसीलिए आज के समय साइबर सिक्योरिटी को बेसिक लेवल पर समझना सिर्फ एक जॉब स्किल ही नहीं, बल्कि सर्वाइवल स्किल भी बन चुका है। ये सिर्फ हैकर्स के लिए ही नहीं है, ये उन लोगों के लिए भी है जो जानना चाहते हैं कि स्कैम्स होते कैसे हैं, ताकि वो उन स्कैम से बच सके। और इसी में आप
How does this have to do anything with goddamn AI summit?
हेल्प कर सकता है ट्राई हैक मी। ये दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा
Oh, this is an advertisement. Fuck off.
4 MB का माइक्रो मॉडल नई चीज तो है नहीं, लेकिन आप देखिए सर्वर
How does he end up lying even in an advertisement? I don't get
क्या
it.
किया है। जब आप जेमिनी से बात करते हैं तो आपका ऑडियो रिकॉर्ड और कंप्रेस होकर यूएस या सिंगापुर जैसे बड़े डेटा सेंटर्स में जाता है, जहां हजार
And so does goddamn the Savarna whatever AI that is. Like, why do you think it's any different?
जीपीयूज इसको प्रोसेस करके वापस भेजते हैं इंफॉर्मेशन को। अगर आपका इंटरनेट 1 सेकंड के लिए भी कट गया तो ट्रांसलेशन वहीं अटक जाती है। दूसरी तरफ आप सर्वम को देखिए। सर्वम के एज मॉडल्स पूरी तरह
Sorry.
आपके फोन के हार्डवेयर पर चलते हैं, वो भी बिना किसी इंटरनेट कनेक्शन के। ये सिर्फ एक 294 MB का माइक्रो मॉडल है जो जेमिनी के उन कई टेराबाइट्स वाले क्लाउड मॉडल्स जैसा एक्यूरेसी देता है। इसका असली फायदा ये है कि किसी भी स्टेट में किसी रिमोट गांव में जहां नेटवर्क का नामो निशान तक नहीं है, वहां एक आदमी मुंबई के किसी डॉक्टर के साथ लाइव और प्राइवेट चैट कर सकता है, वो भी जीरो डेटा कॉस्ट और जीरो लेटेंसी के। तो जेमिनी ने जो किया है और सर्वम ने जो बनाया है उसमें क्या डिफरेंस है? क्योंकि देखिए, जेमिनी जो है वो एक क्लाउड एआई है। वो बेसिकली एक मैसिव लाइब्रेरी है जिसमें दुनिया भर की सारी किताबें हैं, लेकिन सर्वम का जो एज मॉडल है वो एक चीट शीट है, यानी एक क्लिफ नोट्स जैसा वर्जन है जिसमें सिर्फ वही लिखा है जो एग्जाम में आने वाला है। सर्वम के 3 बड़े सीक्रेट्स हैं जो उसके मॉडल को बहुत कंपेटिटिव बनाते हैं और बहुत यूनिक बनाते हैं इंडिया की सेटिंग में। पहला है क्वांटिजेशन, यानी भारी चीजों को हल्का करना। नॉर्मल एआई मॉडल्स में हर वर्ड या हर डेटा पॉइंट को स्टोर करने के लिए बहुत हाई प्रिसिजन नंबर्स यूज होते हैं। सर्वम ने क्या किया है, उन्होंने इन नंबर्स को 8 बिट या 4 बिट में स्क्वीज कर दिया है। इसका मतलब मॉडल का दिमाग वैसा ही चलता है, लेकिन उसकी मेमोरी
Jesus, if this was that easy, literally everyone would fucking do it. Not even going to talk about fucking Sarvam. I'm not an IT expert. But seriously, guys, they are still tracking the shit out of you. That is the main problem. It's not the problem of how you're doing it. Like they are going to push this fucking shit forward that, oh look, it is doing this, it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't fucking matter. What matters is, are they tracking you while doing it? The answer is yes. Plus the environmental impact, no one fucking talks about environmental impact here. Like all of this shit that was going on, like India has the AI summit, everyone is coming to India for the fucking AI summit, but the servers that are supposed to happen in India apparently are completely tax free, are going to ruin the villages of India. They're going to ruin water that is extremely important for like you and me to drink. They ruin freshwater sources. Not to mention air. AQI is already fucked, by the way.
सर्वम ने एक बड़े टीचर मॉडल यानी मल्टी टेराबाइट क्लाउड एआई जैसे जेमिनाई उसको पकड़ा और ट्रेन किया एक छोटे स्टूडेंट मॉडल को सिखाने के लिए. टीचर ने स्टूडेंट को
that's how literally every AI model works. Move on.
10 से 12 इंडियन लैंग्वेजेस ही हैंडल करनी है इन ट्रांसलेशंस के लिए. तो आप जो उस लैंग्वेजेस के नुआंसेस हैं, चाहे लहजा हो, स्लैंग हो, ग्रामर हो, उस पर ज्यादा हाइपर फोकस कर सकते हैं बिना मॉडल का साइज बढ़ाए. तो सर्वम ने मॉडल को स्मार्ट बनाया है, हेवी नहीं बनाया है. इसी वजह से आपके फोन का प्रोसेसर इसको बिना ओवरलोड हुए हैंडल कर सकता है. एक और बड़ा डिफरेंस है सर्वम में और क्लॉड, चैट जीपीटी जैसे मॉडल्स में कि अगर आप क्लॉड या चैट जीपीटी से पूछेंगे कि अक्साई चिन और पीओके किसको बिलोंग करता है, तो उनका आंसर देखिए. और सर्वम से जब ये सवाल पूछा जाता है तो सर्वम का आंसर देखिए. और इसी
It is a contested territory. Obviously, you talk. This is called bias. Jesus, how is like bias a part of this argument? Move on.
फाउंडेशनल मॉडल है जो मल्टीपल इंडिक लैंग्वेजेस में गवर्नमेंट, एजुकेशन, हेल्थ केयर और एंटरप्राइज यूज के लिए लैंग्वेज.
Literally, any AI can do it. This is not the point of problems with AI. I don't know why he's pushing this fucking shit forward. Transforming rural healthcare. No, you need more. Okay, let's just go one after the other. Inclusive fintech and governance. Okay, first of all, you do not need AI in governance. AI in governance is a problem. It leads to mass layoff of people, which is a bad thing in India. Aligning, Jesus. Ugh. Transforming, okay. AI-enabled healthcare is a problem, again, because of AI hallucinations, which have not been removed. Secondly, we have a problem with doctors not having jobs. How, rather than this, you can just pay people more. It is that easy. Like losing jobs. Like we have a nurses crisis. Get more nurses rather than doing this bullshit.
AI एनेबल करता है. फिर है ज्ञानी.ai. इनका वॉइस ओएस एक 5B पैरामीटर वॉइस टू वॉइस मॉडल है जो बिना पहले टेक्स्ट में कन्वर्ट किए सीधा स्पीच को समझकर स्पीच में ही रिस्पांस देता है, यानी वॉइस टू वॉइस. और 14 मिलियन प्लस आवर्स स्पीच डेटा पर ट्रेंड है. उसके अलावा एडवर्ब टेक्नोलॉजीज. एलेक्सिस W एक मेड इन इंडिया व्हील्ड ह्यूमनॉइड रोबोट है जो वेयरहाउसेस और फैक्ट्रीज में पिकिंग, सॉर्टिंग, मटेरियल मूवमेंट और रिपीटेटिव इंडस्ट्रियल टास्क.
That is again, they are going to use it for fucking. Again, like someone check this out. I'm going to quickly check this. Alexis, because this robot was built in China as well, as far as I know. Hold on, I'm just quickly checking this. Because this is not new technology. Is this weird? Oh, Jesus, no. Hold on, guys. I need to see the whole. This is old tech. This is way old tech. Hold on. This is DD News. Hold on. What did you say? Why would my processor need to handle anything? Does he think that it's going to run out of my phone locally? Does this guy know makes a better model better at precision recalls for fuck's sake? Yeah, he's just reading out scripts. Someone wrote it for him. Like the guy has no idea what he's talking.
Unveiled its first.
Does this work? Clanky as shit. We have Chinese robots that are performing.
Made in India wheeled humanoid robot Alexis W in Mumbai on Thursday. The 6-foot robot is built to work autonomously and collaborate with human workers.
Jesus.
According to its developers, the
It's not on, guys. It's not on. The only AI robot shit that was on was the Chinese one.
and high-risk environments, including the defense sector.
They said that about the Chinese one as well, by the way.
launching the wheeled
Are we seriously?
humanoid, because if you see humanoid, it is locomotion, manipulation, and then sensing and doing. And these were
How does it work?
lakh rupees, with costs expected to decline as optimization progresses.
This is going to be extremely top heavy, by the way. Hold on. I'm going to show you humanoid robots. I'm not an expert in robotics, to be honest with you. But Chinese humanoid robots are extremely small. They they dance, they sing, they work. This guy is just stuck. Did I find recently? Hold on, what is this? No fucking way. Hold on, no fucking way, guys. Wait, where's this pic? Hold on, I don't know if you can see this. This is... I'm not gonna show... This is what these robots are capable of. Those are all robots. And what is the best shit that we have gotten? What is the best shit that we have gotten in AI Summit? Standing robot.
these robots.
They are not even moving their fucking hand.
टास्क में हेल्प के लिए दिखाया गया। ये बेसिकली जो टेस्ला का टेस्ला बॉट है उसका एक इंडियन वर्जन है। एका केयर उनका ऑफलाइन केपेबल मल्टीलिंगुअल मेडिकल स्क्राइब मॉडल डॉक्टर पेशेंट कन्वर्सेशन सुनकर ऑटोमेटिकली क्लिनिकल नोट्स बनाता है और लो कनेक्टिविटी सेटिंग्स में भी
That is a text to speech.
चलने के लिए डिजाइन किया गया है। इन्फी हीलो एआई इन्फी हील का एआई मेंटल हेल्थ कंपेनियन है जो यूजर्स को गाइडेड सपोर्ट और असेसमेंट्स के थ्रू वेलनेस जर्नी में गाइड करता है। और ये
He's literally reading brochures.
समिट सिर्फ नए नए मॉडल्स को दिखाने सकते हैं और हर किसी को पढ़ने में एजुकेट होने में मदद कर सकते हैं। आप चाहे गवर्नेंस देखें।
That is not how education works. The biggest problem with Indian education is not the education or the books. It is the syllabus and it is the lack of food. Not even joking. The food that you eat is extremely important in education to grow yourself mentally.
देखिए कोर्ट के बड़े बड़े फैसले का एआई के जरिए आप ट्रांसलेशन ले सकते हैं। चाहे आप ट्रांसपोर्ट को देखें, इन सब चीजों में एआई कितना हेल्प कर सकता है। फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन एआई से फ्रॉड पकड़ना और लोन के लिए क्रेडिट स्कोरिंग करना काफी आसान हो जाता है। और इस
This grade itself is a
माइक्रोसॉफ्ट से भी ज्यादा भीड़ बटोरनी है और इनके स्मार्ट ग्लासेस जो है ये भी रियल टाइम में लैंग्वेज को ट्रांसलेट कर सकते हैं। तो आप सोचिए
Again, smart glasses was a very old invention. More critical thinking. Yes, critical thinking is important for education as well, but education is supposed to develop critical thinking. You're not supposed to have critical thinking from the start, to be honest with you. But they don't understand this. They think that rote learning is everything for them.
सोचिए इसमें कि राज ठाकरे जैसे जो लोग हैं, डीएमके जैसे और कांग्रेस कर्नाटका जैसे जो लैंग्वेज सुप्रीमेसिस्ट हैं, उनका तो करियर खत्म हो जाएगा इन क्लासेस से। अगर आप रियल टाइम लैंग्वेज को ट्रांसक्राइब कर सकते हो, एवरीबॉडी कैन अंडरस्टैंड ईच अदर, तो ये जो
Again, Google Glasses was a thing.
लैंग्वेज का वॉरफेयर ये तो खत्म ही हो जाएगा ना रातों रात। तो देखिए ये था
That is not... Okay, listen, guys, let me be clear. He might be actually stupid. The language warfare that everyone's talking about is not about translations. It is about the Hindi imposition within the South. It's about lingual conversion of a mass of people by the government as a way to push Hindi for propaganda purposes, because they think that Hindi not being in the South is one of the reasons why BJP cannot get a grasp of the South. Not just education in India that discourse critical thinking, but everyone does, family, society, etc. Yes, again, yeah, I'm not gonna.
Good. Now there were some bad also. और ये bad और insane basically एक ही कैटेगरी में आ गए. ये वो था जो गलगोटिया यूनिवर्सिटी की कंट्रोवर्सी हुई है. तो इस प्लेटफॉर्म पे गलगोटिया यूनिवर्सिटी ने भी अपना एक स्टॉल लगाया था. यहाँ पे वो एक रोबोटिक डॉग शोकेस कर रहे थे जिसका नाम ओरायन बताया गया था. प्रेजेंटेशन में क्लेम किया गया अपेरेंटली कि 350 करोड़ के एआई इको
Again, he's demonizing what they actually did.
सिस्टम
Like
इन्वेस्टमेंट
diminishing what they actually did.
ऐसे इनोवेशन डेवलप हो रहे हैं. कई सारे फीचर्स लिस्ट किए गए जैसे सर्वेलेंस मॉनिटरिंग, 8 घंटे की बैटरी लाइफ, इनएक्सेसिबल एरियाज में ऑपरेशन. लेकिन प्रॉब्लम तब हुई जब ग्राउंड वेरिफिकेशन किया जाने लगा. ये जो रोबोट अपेरेंटली ओरायन के नाम से दिखाया जा रहा था वो यूनिटी रोबोटिक्स नाम की चाइनीज कंपनी का कमर्शियली अवेलेबल रोबोडॉग निकला. और द सैड पार्ट इज, दुख की बात है कि भारत का अपना एक स्टार्टअप है जिसने असली में अपना खुद का रोबोडॉग बनाया है, चोरी करके नहीं बनाया है.
All this drama is drowning out the good work. Let me introduce an Indian startup called Xterra Robotics. They too have.
Again, guys, this is very old tech. This has been used within America since what, 2015?
Booth at
And
the
if
AI
you're
Summit.
just coming
Guess
up
what?
to it, you might
They
as well
actually
buy.
have developed a robotic dog. It's called Swan M2. It's India's first commercial four-legged robot, and this one is legit. This company was founded in IIT Kanpur in 2023. They did not import or copy this robot.
अब जब ये स्कैंडल पकड़ा गया तो गलगोटिया यूनिवर्सिटी को स्टॉल खाली करने का अल्टीमेटम दिया गया, जिसके बाद नेहा सिंह जो गलगोटिया यूनिवर्सिटी को रिप्रेजेंट कर रही थी उनके ऊपर आरोप है कि वो अपने स्टेटमेंट में पलटी मार गई. हमने तो कभी ये बोला ही नहीं कि ये रोबोट हमारी यूनिवर्सिटी में बनाया.
They said that. They literally said that. Like, go check.
कि वीडियोस में ऐसा लगता है कि वो वही क्लेम कर रही हैं.
मैम एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बात है कि उस रोबो डॉग पे उसकी ब्रांडिंग ऊपर ही है. हमने वो ब्रांडिंग चेंज नहीं की.
Yes, because you can't, because you're too stupid. The point is, they did
तो हम कैसे
claim.
क्लेम कर सकते हैं कि ये हमने मैन्युफैक्चर किया है.
और इसके बाद आना शुरू हुए मीम्स कि भाई एक नया रोबोट गलगोटिया यूनिवर्सिटी में डेवलप हुआ है विद जॉइंट वेंचर विद विप्रो. गलगोटिया यूनिवर्सिटी में नेहा जी का डिफेंस देखिए. जब उनसे इस सो कॉल्ड फ्रॉड के बारे में पूछा गया तो उन्होंने ये कहा.
हम आपको एक्सप्लेन कर सकते हैं. हाँ, वो हम आपको एक्सप्लेन कर सकते हैं कि कहाँ थोड़ी सी चूक हुई है. सर, योर 6 कैन बी माय 9.
अब मैं सोचने लगा कि
That is next level stupid.
यार ये डायलॉग मैंने कहीं सुना है, कहीं देखा है. तब मुझे याद हुआ कि शायद नेहा जी भी संडे और सैटरडे को दोपहर में बैठ के सेट मैक्स देखा करती थी मेरी तरह, क्योंकि ये सीन सेट मैक्स की मूवी से ही निकल के आया है.
ये देखो, वहां से तुम्हें ये छेद दिख रहा.
Moving on.
80,000 लोग एक साथ पहुंच गए और वेन्यू की पूरी हालत पतली हो. लंबे लंबे क्यूज, कोई साइनेज नहीं, बैठने की जगह नहीं, ना पानी ना खाना, और ऊपर से अचानक गेट बंद.
Yeah. So he's just covering what we covered earlier. This was absolutely a fucking disaster, to be
सबसे बड़ी
honest.
आयरनी ये थी कि एआई समिट होने के बावजूद अंदर मोबाइल डेटा डेड था, डिजिटल पेमेंट्स फेल हो रही थी. बेचारा
Moving on.
मिलना है, हमारी कंपनी के बारे में जानना है तो लगता है हमको
Gates is accused of pedophilia, by the way.
नॉट प्लेस के किसी कैफे में मिनी बूथ बनाना पड़ेगा. मतलब आप इतना बड़ा इवेंट बना रहे हैं, इतने लोगों को आपने बनाया, आप पूरी दुनिया के सामने भारत की एआई कैपेसिटी को शोकेस करना चाहते हैं, लेकिन मैनेजमेंट लोकल मेले जैसा हो रहा है. और क्योंकि एग्जीबिटर्स को रैंडमली अपना पूरे एक्सपेंसिव सामान को वहीं छोड़ना पड़ा स्टॉल्स पर, और स्टॉल्स को खाली करना पड़ा, तो कोई चोरी की भी खबर आने लगी. नियोसेपियन जो एक बेंगलुरु बेस्ड स्टार्टअप है, उसके फाउंडर ने रिपोर्ट किया कि उनका जो पैटेंटेड एआई वेयरेबल डिवाइस है वो उनके बूथ से चोरी हो गया. बताइए. सीईओ धनंजय यादव पोस्ट कर रहा है एक्स पे कि उनको निकाल दिया गया था मोदी जी के विजिट के पहले जो सिक्योरिटी सीप हुआ था उसके लिए, और जब वो वापस आए अपने स्टॉल पे तो उनके वेयरेबल डिवाइसेस गायब थे. थैंकफुली दिल्ली पुलिस ने थोड़ी ही देर में 2 मेंटेनेंस वर्कर्स को इस चोरी के लिए पकड़ा और डिवाइसेस जो है वो वापस फाउंडर को लौटा दिए गए. बट अगेन ये ऑर्गेनाइजर्स के लिए और गवर्नमेंट के लिए एक बहुत ही एम्बैरेसिंग लुक है. लेकिन क्रेडिट पर क्रेडिट इज ड्यू कि उन्होंने अपनी गलती मानी. अश्विनी वैष्णव ने सामने से स्टेटमेंट दिया कि जो पहले दिन गड़बड़ हुई है उसके लिए हम माफी मांगते हैं एंड हम अपनी तरफ से पूरी कोशिश करेंगे इसको इंप्रूव करने के लिए. तो अच्छी बात है कि
Okay, if this person is claiming that this is such a big event for India, why would you let this fucking happen? People were not allowed to enter with keys, by the way. The Prime Minister showed up when he was not supposed to. Everyone was cleared out. Why are we excusing this? That is my question. Why do you want to excuse any of this just to protect the government?
उन्होंने पब्लिक स्टेटमेंट दिया इसके बारे में. सरकार ने एक्सपो को एक दिन और के लिए बढ़ा दिया ताकि जो लोग पहले दिन ना आ पाए थे, जिन्होंने मिस किया था, वो इसको अटेंड कर सके. इन्होंने बाकी दिनों के लिए स्टैगर्ड एंट्री शुरू की ताकि भारत मंडपम के गेट्स पर मेला ना लगे. एक 24/7 प्रॉपर वॉर रूम खड़ा किया गया जो राउंड द क्लॉक काम कर रहा था, सिर्फ लोगों की कंप्लेंट सुनने और उनको सॉल्व.
Why wasn't this done on the first day? Maybe they could have copied it from China organizes their events. Maybe it would have been better.
करने के लिए। और डे 3 से डे 5 आते आते लॉजिस्टिक्स काफी हद तक सुधर गए थे और बहुत सारे जो पार्टिसिपेंट्स थे वो क्लेम कर रहे थे कि फंक्शनिंग काफी स्मूथ हो गई। तो देखिए नेगेटिव चीजें भी थी जो गवर्नमेंट ने काफी गड़बड़ की, ऑर्गेनाइजर्स ने काफी गड़बड़ की, लेकिन डिस्पाइट दैट $100 billion
There's no despite that. That is a problem. And the investment was happening anyway. You know why? Because they made sure that like AI centers are not going to have any kind of taxation. Any kind of taxation in India, which is a huge problem.
इन्वेस्टमेंट कमिटमेंट मिले हैं इंडिया को। उसके साथ साथ सर्वम एक लेजिटिमेट सुपरस्टार की तरह इमर्ज किया कि हो सकता है फ्यूचर में ये चैट जीपीटी और क्लॉड जैसे बड़े-बड़े एलएलएम्स को राइवल भी कर सकता है ऑन अ कंप्लीटली मेड इन इंडिया प्लेटफॉर्म। लेकिन देखिए
एवरीथिंग इज ऑलवेज कर सकता है, हो सकता है 2025 में होगा, नेवर नथिंग इज लाइक हो गया है बिकॉज़ इट्स नेवर गोइंग टू बी।
डिसेंट्री हो जाती है, आपको तो पता ही है ये बात। माना कि समिट में कुछ मिसमैनेजमेंट हुआ है, बाद में
कुछ
इन्होंने इसको फिक्स भी किया, एड्रेस भी किया। कांग्रेस ने इस एआई समिट को लेकर इतना हल्ला मचाया जितना रवीश ने पाकिस्तान के साथ हाथ ना मिलाने पर हल्ला मचाया था।
एक हाथ हवा में, दूसरे हाथ में गेंद। अंपायर ने किया हाथ का इस्तेमाल, दे दी हरी झंडी। गेंदबाज के हाथ से निकलकर गेंद जा रही है उस हाथ की तरफ जिसमें तैयार है बल्ला।
अब रवीश की बात चली रही है तो उनके ही मेल्टडाउन से शुरू करते हैं। रवीश ने भी एआई समिट में वीडियो डाल दिया। हालांकि पहलगाम और बांग्लादेशी हिंदुओं के साथ जो प्रॉब्लम्स हो रही हैं उसके ऊपर इन पे वीडियो बनते नहीं है।
बनते हैं, दिस इडियट डज नॉट रियली अंडरस्टैंड। The videos are made for the shit that is going wrong. Also, okay, let's talk about Kashmiri Hindus. Let's talk about Kashmiri Hindus here. Kashmiri Hindus have themselves said that the BJP government has used them as a election profiteering racket. To profit on elections, they've used their plight.
लेकिन समिट का वीडियो सेम डे इन्होंने निकाल दिया और टाइटल देखिए। अगेन इन्होंने इग्नोर किया कि भारत के स्टार्टअप्स अपने रोबोडॉग भी बनाकर एग्जिबिट कर रहे थे।
Again, not a new technology, guys. Guys, you can't remake a mobile phone and claim it as new technology.
All this drama is drowning out the good work. Let me introduce an Indian startup.
What happens? Why would you put this again? I don't understand. Like, okay, this is just a repeat section.
जिसमें काफी इंटरेस्टिंग फीचर्स हैं।
This is papu.ai. It's an AI.
Just someone bring me the. Hold on, where is this video of Modi? Fucking hell, but this is still AI. I don't fucking like AI in the first place. I'm going to move on from this.
जो है ये पूरी तरह से एक फेलियर रहा, पर फिर हमारा पढ़ा लिखा मीडिया कैसे पीछे रह सकता है?
गलगोटिया यूनिवर्सिटी को एआई इंडिया इंपैक्ट समिट से खदेड़ दिया गया है।
तो इनिशियली ये कह रहे थे कि इसमें मिसहैंडलिंग की गई है, लेकिन जब मिसहैंडलिंग को फिक्स करने की कोशिश की गई है, इससे भी इनको प्रॉब्लम है।
स्टॉल को लेकर गलगोटिया ने वीडियो बनाया कि एआई समिट में उसका स्टॉल
That is not fixing.
आकर्षण का केंद्र बना हुआ है, आज वह खाली हो गया।
एआई समिट से गलगोटिया के टर्मिनेशन से भी इनको प्रॉब्लम है। इस चीज के लिए भी ये गवर्नमेंट को अटैक करे। तो पहले तुमने गलगोटिया को अलाउ
They did not have a problem with Golgotia being terminated. They had a problem with Golgotia lying about it. They, at this, like lying at this level, should have gotten them at least one FIR.
क्यों किया? अब जब गलगोटिया को हटा दिया तो गलगोटिया को हटा क्यों दिया? तो एक दो मिसस्टेप्स की वजह से इस पूरे एफर्ट को डिस्क्वालीफाई करने की कोशिश की जा रही है। और यहाँ आता है सबसे बड़ा मेल्टडाउन और सबसे बड़ा स्टंट। कांग्रेस पार्टी का जो यूथ विंग है, उनके लीडर्स कपड़े उतार के फॉर सम रीजन मोदी के खिलाफ प्रोटेस्ट करने के लिए पहुंच गए। अब यहाँ दो चीजें। पहली चीज,
Protesting is good. This is for visibility. This is good.
कपड़े पहन के आप प्रोटेस्ट क्यों नहीं कर सकते थे? और दूसरी बात, ये लोग जो हैं ये कांग्रेस यूथ विंग से आए थे। इनके जरा फोटो देखिए, ये चाचा जी और मौसा जी की उम्र के लोग यूथ कांग्रेस के मेंबर कैसे हैं भाई? खैर इसमें क्या सरप्राइज है, ये यूथ कांग्रेस के मेंबर वैसे ही हैं जैसे इनके ऑलमोस्ट 60 साल के लीडर यूथ लीडर बन के घूमते रहते हैं। और उसी तरह जिस तरह जेएनयू में
Yes, youth leader just means a leader of youth. And sometimes. Like getting on technicalities, trying to make fun, like you don't understand.
40 साल के कोट अनकोट स्टूडेंट्स पढ़ रहे हैं। तो देखिए ये क्लियरली एक अटेम्प्ट था इंडिया को वर्ल्ड स्टेज पे ह्यूमिलिएट करने का। प्रॉब्लम क्या है, बहुत सारी ऑपोजिशन।
India humiliated itself on the world stage. Let me be clear. There has been so many instances of humiliation for India on the world stage. I can't, like OP Sindoor itself was humiliation. Not one country supported India during OP Sindoor. The only two people were Israel. Israel and Afghanistan, controlled by Taliban. Don't talk to me about humiliation on the world stage.
वो इस बात को लगता है आज समझते नहीं है कि वास्ट मेजॉरिटी जो इंडियंस हैं वो पेट्रियोटिक है, उनको अपना देश पसंद है, वो चाहते हैं कि उनका देश।
Patriotism does not mean that you have to blindly follow the Modi government. Patriotism means you like the country. You can hate the government. There is a difference between patriotism and nationalism.
सक्सीड करे। तो ऑब्वियसली वो इस बात से खुश नहीं होंगे कि इस तरह से नंगे पुंगे अंकल जी लोग वहां पे आ गए हैं पूरी दुनिया के सामने देश को एम्बैरस करने के लिए और इस तरह का नाटक करने के लिए। उनको ऑब्वियसली अच्छा नहीं लगेगा और इसीलिए वहां के लोगों ने वैसे ही रिस्पॉन्ड किया जैसे कोई भी नॉर्मल इंडियन रिस्पॉन्ड करेगा जब इस तरह का बेहुदा स्टंट वहां पे किया जाएगा। हो गया, पी गया, मिल गई कलेजे को ठंडा। इन सालों का क्या
Moving
करें?
on.
अगेन सर्वम
The only reason he's talking about was because the protest was successful. Let's just be clear about it.
जैसे एआई से ये सारी जो लैंग्वेज वॉर है, लैंग्वेज पॉलिटिक्स है, ये तो खत्म हो जाएगी ना। तो ये अपना पेट कैसे पालेंगे?
Language politics are not going to get over because of AI. Language politics is a matter of regional dominance of the Hindi belt and spreading of the Hindi belt throughout India, because BJP thinks that Hindi is the reason why they are keep winning, because there's a common language. They want to spread Hindi to the south so they can do language politics and spread like their propaganda over here. The southern states do not speak Hindi. They are very much isolated from Hindi belt propaganda mechanisms.
कुछ लोग हैं जो कह रहे हैं कि सर्वम को देशभक्ति नहीं करनी चाहिए। अरे यार, एक इंडियन एलएलएम है जो पूरी तरह से इंडिया में बिल्ट है, वो इस बात
LLMs need to be completely neutral. That is the idea. If you don't have a neutral LLM, you are an idiot to think that it is ever going to be accepted or good at any point. Again, this is a problem with ChatGPT as well and Grok as well.
बात से अगर प्राउड फील कर रहा है तो इसमें प्रॉब्लम क्या है? ये देशभक्ति का चूरन कैसे हो गया? आई एम प्राउड टू बी इंडियन। अब देशभक्ति का
देशभक्ति का
चूरन हो
चूरन।
गया है तुम लोगों का। कांग्रेस अपने एक्स हैंडल से भी सर्वम को टारगेट कर रहा है, बताइए। और ऑनेस्टली मेरा आपसे यानी ऑडियंस से एक जेन्युइन सवाल है, ये ऐसी कौन सी
Again, they are not targeting Sarvam, by the way. They are targeting the unitary thing.
हैंडल से भी सर्वम को टारगेट कर रहा है, बताइए। और ऑनेस्टली मेरा
He's
आपसे
just lying in his own goddamn video. Okay.
यानी ऑडियंस से एक जेन्युइन सवाल है, ये ऐसी कौन सी बीमारी लग गई है ऑपोजिशन के कुछ लोगों को या भारत में कुछ ऐसे लोगों को कि अब सर्वम एआई जैसे जेन्युइन इंडियन अचीवमेंट पर भी प्राउड नहीं फील कर सकते? क्या सिर्फ इसलिए?
Because AI has so many issues going on with environment and people and how much poisoning it does for the environment that you live in, that yeah, it's not a good thing that you have an AI that is homegrown and that's going to kill villages plural.
क्योंकि इससे सरकार की इमेज अच्छी बन जाएगी। एज अ पॉलिटिकल पार्टी आप कैसे एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं कि लोग आपको सीरियसली लेंगे अगर आप अपने ही देश की कामयाबी को सिर्फ इसलिए नीचा दिखाने लग जाओ ताकि आपके अपने पॉलिटिकल राइवल्स बुरे लगे? ये
That is not how things go.
एक
Is he
जबरदस्त मौका
stupid?
था दुनिया को ये दिखाने का कि सर्वम एआई और बाकी इंडियन स्टार्टअप्स ने कितना कमाल का काम किया है, कितने बड़े-बड़े अचीवमेंट्स किए हैं। ये
No, you fucking idiot. Christ. None of this is actually showing off well to outside of India, by the way, just to be clear. Everyone thinks it's a fucking joke. Because it is.
सेलिब्रिटी मोमेंट होना चाहिए था क्योंकि हमारी बहुत सारी इंडियन कंपनीज ने मिलकर बहुत यूनिक प्रेजेंटेशंस दिए हैं। तो फिर इसको सैबोटाज करने की क्यों कोशिश की जा रही है? आप अपने ही देश की कंपनीज पर क्यों इस तरह से अटैक कर रहे हैं? तो अल्टीमेटली देखिए, मुझे लगता है कि एक तरफ तो ये हमको मानना पड़ेगा कि ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में काफी सारी प्रॉब्लम्स आई थी ऑब्वियसली इनिशियली एटलीस्ट, खास करके पार्टिसिपेंट्स की वेटिंग को लेकर जो गलगोटिया यूनिवर्सिटी वाली केस ने एक्सपोज कर दिया।
If you have multiple people from multiple different countries coming in for something as a huge event, if you're calling it a huge event, or like such an important event, and you fuck up in the management, that is a problem that
मुझे लगता है
starts.
कि इन चीजों से ग्लोबल स्टेज पर इंडिया को सच में एम्बैरेसमेंट होती है और स्टार्टिंग से ही इसका मैनेजमेंट बेहतर होना चाहिए था अगर आप इतना बड़ा शोकेस दुनिया के सामने रखना चाहते हैं तो। लेकिन हमको ये एक्नॉलेज करना
The
चाहिए
lekin is the problem. The lekin is the problem because it shouldn't be lekin ever. Do you think the Congress would have protested if there was no issue?
के साथ साथ इस बात को इग्नोर नहीं करना चाहिए कि इस समिट में इंडियन कंपनीज ने कितने अच्छे प्रेजेंटेशंस दिए हैं। सर्वम एआई जैसी कंपनीज ने दिखा दिया है कि भारत सिर्फ
He has one company to talk about. He says companies and has one company he talks about. Like इतना डिलुलु होना चाहिए जिंदगी में।
कंज्यूमर्स ही नहीं है बल्कि टेक
I
क्रिएटर्स
think right-wing channels require this level of delulu to
बहुत
even
एक्साइटेड हूं कि
start.
सर्वम एआई और समिट में आई बाकी कंपनीज आगे चलकर कितनी ऊंचाइयां छूती हैं। इस समिट में 100 बिलियन की इन्वेस्टमेंट भी अटैक की है जिसमें गूगल ने आंध्र प्रदेश में 15 बिलियन का एक एआई सेंटर बनाने का भी प्रॉमिस किया है। ये इंडिया के लिए एक बड़ा विंडफॉल है जिससे होपफुली जॉब मार्केट में भी काफी इंप्रूवमेंट आएगा। और अब इंडियन गवर्नमेंट के सामने मेन चैलेंज ये है कि उन्होंने जो भी ये ट्रेड डील साइन की है इतनी सारी और इस तरह के समिट में इन्होंने जो इन्वेस्टमेंट अट्रैक्ट की है उसको यूटिलाइज कैसे किया जाए। उनको ये इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर क्रिएट करना पड़ेगा जिसकी इस वक्त सख्त जरूरत है ताकि इंडिया इन डील्स समिट्स और आने वाली इन्वेस्टमेंट का पूरा प्रॉपर फायदा उठा सके। यही सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज है इस समय इंडिया के सामने फिलहाल।
The challenge in India is the environment and people not getting fed. We are in a hunger crisis. We are in an employment crisis. We are in happiness crisis as well.
हाल इंडिया के पास इन ट्रेड डील्स का पूरा फायदा उठाने के लिए जरूरी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है ही नहीं। ये इस सरकार का सबसे बड़ा टेस्ट है। अगर आप ये इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर क्रिएट कर पाते हैं, अगर आप वो जॉब्स क्रिएट कर पाते हैं, अगर आप
Then you raise fucking villages. There is no jobs to be created in AI server farms, by the way.
इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट क्रिएट कर पाते हैं तो
There is no economic development to be had by this. This is why multiple countries are protesting against the server farms. What the fuck?
2029 आपके लिए मुश्किल हो जाएगा। और अगेन एक चीज जो साफ हो गई है और जो हम पिछले लगभग 10 सालों से देख रहे हैं, कई सारी पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज, उनका बीजेपी हेट अब इंडिया हेट में बदल चुका है। सिर्फ अपने पॉलिटिकल राइवल्स को नीचा दिखाने के लिए वो अपने ही देश और अपने ही देश के लोगों को नुकसान करने के लिए तैयार है। सिर्फ कुछ
They keep saying this like protesting is a good thing. Yeah, fucking. Anyway, fine, whatever. That was the basic coverage of this fucking bullshit. We are still covering more, so don't worry about it. We are just going to take like a 5-minute break and I'll be back with you. Where is this? Jesus Christ. Where is this first? Oof. And we are back. Perfect. Hold on. Okay. You would think like, oh, I have refreshed and I have come back, which is not true. I have not refreshed at all. Long streams are still tiring. I need a better chair. I do look dashing. Anyway, the other next thing that we were talking about was actually related to the AI summit with react to what Wimo. How do I spell that? Wimo, like M-O-H, Mo. Anyway, so we were talking about Wimo next. It is what after what Sam Altman says. There is, so I'm just going to be clear with you. There is no ideological issue with Wimo. I do agree with him a whole lot. The only thing that I wanted to talk about is expanding on what he was saying. So this is not a critique. Yes, Wimo is good. Oh, Jesus, this reminds me of the interview Jennifer Lawrence had with someone, and she was talking about how when she was talking to Meryl Streep, Meryl Streep for the entire time thought GOAT was, they were calling her old. And that is what GOAT meant apparently for her. I just found it funny. I just thought about it. I don't know why. Yeah, I'm just tired. Anyway, so moving on. Let me just. Yeah, perfect. Okay, the next thing we're talking about is we are reacting to Wimo. We don't really have, or rather, I don't really have an ideological issue with Wimo. This is not a critique. This is an amendment. So we're going to watch the video. We are going to react to it. We are going to talk about the things that I found that this might be needed more context in this scenario. He's reacting to Sam Altman talking about how humans are basically no better than farm animals, to extract a lot of goods and information out of them, and how they take resources just like AI takes resources, but like, oh, whatever. I'm not going to explain this. Let him. I'm already like
Sam
2 hours in the live stream.
Altman says that we should not criticize the high amount of power that they require to train AI, because as a term,
Again, the reason why he's saying that in the first place, Sam Altman, is because he wants to move away from the topic, because the topic is very much true and it is extremely exploitative for the environment. Multiple Western cities are protesting against not having farms farms, data centers, server farms in their cities. They are protesting against it. Recently, they won a protest in what was this? In UK, if I'm not wrong. Where was the server farm protest? Hold on. Why did I not bring this up? Again, I didn't bring it up because whatever reason. Oh, Jesus. Where is this protest? Oh, where is this protest? Right situation. No. Where is this? Hold on. I'm going to find this for you because this is extremely important to check on what people are actually happy about. And I'll explain to you why. Now, fucking Christ, I'm stupid. Sorry, I'm derailing right now. Little bit. Rural Wisconsin server farm protest was a win. No. Nope. Huge win. Top data center in New Brunswick last night. Congratulations. This is what they're doing, guys. This is what they're doing. And what is India doing? What is India doing? Let me just bring up this news. You see me live. India gives 20-year tax holiday for firms using local data centers. This is what we are doing, and this is what everyone in the West is doing. Because everyone in the West understands that server farms are inherently bad for the community. They are inherently bad for the community. This is why Sam Altman keeps saying that, oh, you need to not talk about how much shit server farms take. We need to talk about, oh, how much like a person takes instead of a server farm.
Turns out, human beings take even more power.
They do not.
He's talking about you. He's talking about me. He's talking about, people.
They just do not.
People
Like, that
for
is
whose
not true.
convenience, apparently, AI tools have been created. And now, all of a sudden, this slips out of his mouth at an AI summit, no less, where he says that people take energy to train and AI systems take energy to train. And therefore, Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, has put people and his dear AI tools, which make him a lot of profit, on the same pedestal, or rather, same lack of pedestal. If AI is a tool, then so are human beings in the eyes of Sam Altman. It's a horrid message, isn't it? It's a horrible thing to say, especially because you're a human being yourself, Sam Altman, and he's talking to an audience composed mostly of human beings. एक दो Chinese कुत्ते भी थे वहाँ पे, but that's not what I'm going to talk about. We are going to address something deeper. Sam Altman told a crowd of people that we should not criticize AI companies for using a power to train AI because people also take energy to train. And there was not one member of the audience there who, I mean, maybe there were people thinking this, but from what I could tell,
They
people
were
were
not.
laughing and
I can
applauding.
assure you they were not, because it's such a outlandish claim. And the reason why he's doing this is to get permissibility, for exploitation by the server farms in regions of India where the server farms are meant to be built. People are already suffering from exploitation through mining, exploitation through bad regulation. And now they want people to suffer even more from server farm. And that exploitation needs to be ignored by the entire world. That is what they're aiming for.
As if this was a great big philosophical insight. Because what Sam Altman was saying is that humans are tools. And this is not surprising, nor should it appear surprising to anyone, because Sam Altman, at the end of the day, is a capitalist, he's a businessman, he's an industrialist, and he is going to look at people as tools. And who are the people who find this comparison at least applause worthy?
The top 5 bracket, top 0.1%, again, capitalists. That's why you should not be capitalists.
Also, people of industry. It was an AI summit after all. You and I were only going there and getting disappointed, by the way. You and I were only going there to look at fancy gadgets. They were going there with a very different intention. They were going there to find tools, to find ways of becoming more productive, as in making their businesses more productive.
Profitable. I wouldn't say it's productive because there has been an internal calculation that is going on between a lot of these corporations on how much you can make a service suck, that people are going to stop using that service. Because again, using AI for any service is going to make it suck at the end of the day, because it just does not have the capacity to do that good of a work and stop hallucinating. So they are trying to balance the scales, like how much we can fire people so that we can use AI in place, so we make more profits on one end, but also don't lose on the profits that from customer dissatisfaction. This is what has happened every single time with capitalism.
And what makes their business more productive? Your body. And it is your body.
Hence worker rights. Hence you need to talk about more socialism, not like Wimo, but generally people listening talk more about socialism than capitalism. People who think capitalism is good for them, unless you're in the top 1%, it is not.
Hands, your brain, your legs, your ability to do work and create value is what is described as productivity. They think of human beings as productivity units.
They don't even think of them as human beings or productivity units. They think of him as liability. Within human resources, especially with capitalism, any person that is employed is a liability for the company. So firing that person removes that liability. That is what we are going towards. This is why Amazon makes so many strides in AI, trying to create so many automations, quote and quote, so they can remove the liability which is you.
Not surprising. What is tragic, however, is that you and I also think of human beings as productivity units.
I wouldn't say people think of them as productivity units. People are made to think of them as productivity units. Capitalism doesn't work without PR. It just doesn't. It is feudalism with better PR. That PR, that learning that you were told to do, to be like, oh, we need these companies, we need that companies, you need to be this much productive, your value should always be monetary, goes into the line of thinking that you are a product.
The point of view with which an industrialist looks at a human being and sees a pair of hands, a pair of legs, and the ability to perform labor is also the point of view that somehow you and I have acquired all
constant propaganda towards this end. This is how it happens. It's not inherent to people to think of themselves as just products. Whenever we go for a job interview, the first information that we are given, such first motivation or first advice we are given is like, tell yourself like you're a product.
Also, we see ourselves as productivity units. It's a cultural malaise.
I wouldn't even call it productivity units. There's nothing productive about a person as such. A person is a person. That's it. They are not productivity units. They give their services for a fee, which more and more they have been compensated less and less. The average cost of living has only gone up while the average salary has gone down.
Natural disease whereby you and I, human beings with hearts and minds and the ability to experience joy and sadness, we have started seeing ourselves as tools. Recently, there was this
The direct reason is just propaganda.
hustler who said that if she is an author and she writes 200 books a year and you write maybe one book in every 6 months, then who wins the race?
Yeah, sure.
To her, it was a race. Why was it a race? Because she also was describing herself and everyone who she was talking to as productivity units.
I wouldn't say this is a very good
Joy and
example.
sadness were not part of the equation at all. It was only and only about how much you can produce, how much work you can do. If you have heard book reading discourse, where people think that fiction is a waste of time and non-fiction is better because it makes you productive, it's this problem only in a different manifestation, where reading should only make you better at being productive. If reading is for the sake of joy or pleasure, then it is a waste of time. You hear that? You're a human being. The things that make you human are a waste. And the things that make
That's what capitalism is, though. Capitalism is the exploitation of the most vulnerable communities for profit extraction. In every single scenario, you are still the most vulnerable. You are the serfs. I don't really agree with like general communist idea at this point, where they think only workers in this scenario are the serfs here. With like proletariat is not just the workers, in my opinion. It is also the IT people, especially in India. Like if you're an IT person, again, like some communists will call you pseudo bourgeois. I will not, because you are the proletariat as well. It has just shifted towards you, because again, you ended up in worse situations than some of these workers, to be completely honest with you. At least they used to have Manrega schemes. You don't have those either. You get fucked over.
you useful to Sam Altman are worthwhile. And you will therefore be measured with the same scale as an AI tool is measured. Now, you have the power to escape this, by the way. You can refuse to be measured with that scale. You can tell people like Sam Altman and their mindless stooges that I'm a human being and I matter more. I mean more.
They're
And I
not
will
going
not
to
be
care.
either compared to an AI tool or.
See, if you want to matter more to these fucking idiots, you have to denounce capitalism as a whole thing. MNC crowd in India are the biggest bootlickers of capital. Yes, they are. I agree with you. They are the biggest bootlickers of capitalism, but they are also the ones that need to be rallied, because they are the ones that suffer the most. No, you can say all. I don't care. You can say all, because more or less it feels that way. The problem is, it's like workers in America being told that they need capitalism throughout the Industrial Revolution. At least at that point, they were still getting social services. They were, like, America was socialist for a very long time. The issue that I have right now is because the issue I have with Indian communists or in Indian communist movement is that they ignore MNC workers. MNC workers are not pseudo bourgeois. They are not the pseudo burgers, as I like to call these people burgers. They are not pseudo burgers. What they are is the neo proletariat. They are the new form of workers in the IT department. When Marx wrote his books, when Engels wrote the books, at least whatever it may be, whoever has, like, they were written when IT was not a sector. So if we are not incorporating these sectors within the leftist socialist movement, you're ignoring a whole swath of workers who are lower than what you consider a worker for the communist movement or for the socialist movement, whatever. These also need to be considered because their lifestyle is as exploited by their basic slave owners than any worker there is. MNC workers are exploited. They are the closest thing to a white collar slave there is. I mean, I don't know if you're going to agree with me on this. I don't really care. I mean, they're not like you, Bliss, like whoever is listening later. But again, MNC workers are as closest thing to a white collar slave as there is anyone else. At least a common Indian will not defend capital, but middle class will guard it like their own means of production. Yes, I agree, but middle class is not always MNCs. A common low class Indian, lower class Indian, poor Indian also works at MNCs. Like, I'm not talking about UC Stravarna MNC workers that like get extreme promotions every fucking single year and start off with a package of like 50 lakh per month. That is not one who I'm talking about. I am talking about the MNC workers that are hired in swaths. They are not middle class. They are not middle class. They are just there to fill up ranks. They are there to be used as slaves. Those who I'm talking about. These are not burgers.
Replaced by an AI tool. As it is, the AI tools are failing to replace people. That is the good news, although that will become clear to us in, a few more years. Apparently, पूरी दुनिया में जो स्कैम सबसे पहले फैल चुके होते हैं और डिबग हो चुके होते हैं, उसके बाद वो भारत में आते हैं. The bullshit that Sam Altman and Dario Amodei spilled at the AI summit was only the same garbage that they have spilled in America and Europe for a number of months now, a couple of years now. It has stopped working there. The AI bubble is about to pop. So they bring their entire dhanda to India and hope that people here are gullible enough to fall for it. And turns out we are. Because I not only...
There's a huge amount of propaganda behind this. That's why. Not because we are gullible. Like, that's how propaganda works. That's what I keep talking about.
I saw BJP members singing bhajans about AI. I also saw Congress people singing bhajans about AI. But I suppose that is the times we live in right now.
No, it's not the times we live in right now. That's why we have to concur with the fact that both are liberal parties. Indian left is not left. Indian left, as we like to call it, like, oh, you're Congress, you're lefty. No, Congress is center right.
AI summit happened and it ended also somewhat disgracefully on account of the crisis of Galgutian proportions, and I'm not going to talk about it. But I do want to draw attention to the fact that there is a kind of Kool-Aid about AI spread on the internet that is being spread by hustlers and tech bros, and wider culture has also absorbed it into itself. So even though AI is part of our discourse now, I don't even see Indian liberals raise a stink, or at least...
Again, liberals do not give a shit about classism in the community. Indian liberals are not the left.
A bit of worry about what this means for work itself and for people themselves. There are data centers being built in India, about which the very nice Internet Freedom Foundation recently raised a voice. There are AI tools being not only made available to students, but students are being encouraged to use them through expensive advertisements online and on television. And I have spoken a lot about the downside of this, why effort matters and why everything else matters. So I will not harp on it too much. I hope that made sense. And if it didn't, I'll repeat it, because why else am I here? See you next time.
See, that's what I keep talking about. We need people like Wimo, by the way. We need people like Wimo to start, like, create cultural hegemony. Because that's what Sam Altman was trying to do at the end of the day. Anyway, so that's the end of this part of the discussion, honestly. Okay, I think should we talk about talking too late. Oh, we we are going to start doing Jesus. Like at this point, I don't know. Maybe we should do 8-hour streams. There's so much to cover. There's some weeks there's nothing to cover. Now there's like half of that shit is like, this was such a big disappointment. But I think we are going to stop here because I need to start posting the content. So I will see you guys on Thursday. Thank you for coming. Good night. Tabak khair. I will see you Thursday. It is very late. Good night. Bye.